All right, everybody. I got Sheldon Rankins here. Really excited about Sheldon. Sheldon's a guy that, as you talk to people that have been around him over the years, total pros pro, locker room favorite, staff favorite. Doesn't matter who you talk to, coaches, anybody he's been around and affected. Unfortunately, we've played against him a number of times over the years, which leads us to today. It's a guy that we've always pinpointed would be a great fit for us and be able to really help us win a lot of games. And so really excited to get Sheldon in our building. He's a great fit for what we're trying to do defensively as a team in the locker room. So really excited. We got several of his former teammates here who are very excited to have Sheldon in the building. They reached out to let me know that as quickly as they saw the news. And so that's all encouraging stuff. So I'll turn it over to Sheldon and let you guys have at him.
Why do you feel like Cincinnati was the best fit for you at this point in your career?
Yeah. Well, first I want to say I appreciate the Bengals for having me, want me to be a part of what's going on here, and I just felt like it culminated, everything I was looking for at this point in my career. Obviously, stability. A place that wants me and sees me, not only part of, the next 6-month plan, but sees me part of the future, and then a team that wants to win. A team that has everything right in front of it. Everything in the locker room, from a talent perspective, from a coaching perspective, to be able to push that envelope and really win it all. At this point in my career, those are the things that really matter to me. A place that feels like home, a place that feels like, a place that truly wants me and wants to, display my abilities, on the field, off the field, as a leader, as a player, and then a team that's truly capable of going and win it all. A few years ago, this team was in the Super Bowl, and we got all the makings to be able to make that kind of run again. So I'm looking forward to it.
As Zach mentioned, you're reuniting with some familiar faces. Trey, Vaughn, the third reaction.
Yeah, for sure. Me and Trey, that's my guy. So I always tell people, you guys have, watched Trey practice, and I'm sure seen him fight and do all that kind of stuff. That's who he was when I met him. At his rookie mini camp practice, I'm pretty sure he got kicked out for fighting. So that's, to a degree, I was, unofficially Trey's wrangler in New Orleans. So, happy to hold those reins again. And then Vaughn as well. Vaughn was my guy, same draft class in New Orleans. So, happy to be back with those guys. Last time I was with those guys, we won a lot of games. So, looking forward to getting back on that same wave.
What was the attention part with being Trey Wrangler back then?
You just never knew when it was going to happen. That's pretty much, and I'm pretty sure that will be the sentiments I feel from the moment we start practicing again. It'll just be that. Only difference is now I'm a little older, so I'm like, Trey, don't make me come all the way over there, please. This is, but, like I said, I mean, he's, a supreme talent. So listen, hey, if he wants to fight, I'll be there. It's fine. It's completely fine with me.
When you looked at the defensive line as well with Trey, with what they have out there, what was kind of the appealing part of playing with this group?
Yeah, no, I just felt like I could be just something that was missing. I feel like, what I add in terms of leadership, in terms of being able to rush the passer. I know I don't get too much credit for it, but I feel like I stopped the run pretty well. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a guy that's out there all the time. So I feel like everything I can do, and I feel like I can do it at a high enough level to really push this group forward, and really be a true force for this team.
You're getting older in the league. It seems like last year was your second most productive year you've ever had. What do you attribute being able to still be so good as the years kind of pile up on you?
And healthy. I think I think a lot of people will kind of look at my career and say I had some down years, but there's also just some years that like I've just been really beat up. There was some year, I suffered, essentially I went through, 2 Achilles surgeries in the span of, a year, and as hard as it is to get back from one of those, I had to get back from 2 of those as well as get better in the process. Like a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to come back from injury to get to the level you were at, but also still have to get better. So, I just think, being able to have good health over the last few years has really allowed me to just really attack my craft and really hone in on the things and, that I feel like I need to do to get better to really, be the dominant player I know I can be. So, for me, I feel like, when I watched last year, like I had a really productive year, but, there's still so much, more left for me to do, and I feel like I'm still ascending as a player. Just overall, honestly, I think, I'm a guy who doesn't truly focus on, all the things I've done well, like in a sense. There are a lot of people that always want to talk about, not to open old wounds, but the 3-sack game I had against Cincy or different things like that. And when I watched that game, I only watched the sacks I missed, or I only watched the plays where I'm like, oh, if I would have done that, I would have been able to do something here. So for me, it's just about my continued growth and never feeling like, okay, cool, I've arrived, I've made it. And part of my journey is it'll never allow me to feel that way. So there's always going to be room for me to grow. There's always going to be room for me to grow as a run defender, whether it's leverage, whether it's use of my hands, or better strike, or what have you, or even in my pass rush, finding ways to beat slide protections and different things like that, or just finding more efficient ways to win my one-on-ones that a lot of one-on-ones I had, they're great wins, but how can I turn those wins into sacks or sack fumbles instead of just pressures or hits and different things like that. So I'm always trying to figure out ways to continue to grow my game, and I feel like, again, I'm still truly ascending, and I look forward to having a better year than I had last year. Let's do it. You want to do it? You brought it back up, but go ahead, yeah, for sure.
What plays did you miss? Because it didn't seem like to us that you missed many plays.
I miss a few. Yeah, for sure. There was earlier. This is before I got my first sack. There was one where they slid the protection to me. I'm going to rush on Ted, and I get bumped, and I just kind of slid off of one sack on Joe. I mean, Joe's a tough sack, but so I slid off of that one. There was another one where Joe gained like 2 yards on the play, but that one should have been another sack. I got to find a way to get him down sooner. So the last sack I had on that drive, if you go back and watch the first play of that series, he's my teammate now, so I don't want to do this, but whatever, fine. We're discussing old wounds, guys, old wounds. We're on to better things, but these are the questions asked, so I'm answering the questions. I beat Kappa with the stab club. So at this point, again, he's my teammate now. We're good. I'm just answering the questions. After I've been kicking his ass all day, I was like, I'm setting up for to win the game. I'm like, okay, cool. I know this move's gonna kill him. Sack, ball out, game over. Like in my head, I'm literally walking through this because it's gonna happen. So execute the move perfectly. And Jonah at the last second, so I beat Kappa. Jonah at the last second kind of comes back and just pushes me enough, and if you go back and watch that play, I beat him clean. And you see me fall like this. You see my arm slap down like that. It's because in my mind I'm going to strip the ball, it's happening. I'm going through my whole process. Stab club, beat him clean, sack, ball out. So I'm reaching for the ball, but I get bumped, and Joe runs out, throws a ball, and Will Anderson, chases him, gets a quarterback hit. So anyway, that should have been sack number 5 or whatever it should have been. But I go back and I watch I spend most of my time watching all the ones I didn't make instead of the ones I made, because the ones I make, I truly expect myself to make those plays. So I'm always just trying to find ways to get better. It's never good enough for me. Like everybody I know is super excited about the 3-sack game, and I was sitting on the plane or sitting on the bus thinking like, I really should have had 6 today. That's and that's all I could think about. I couldn't be happy with the 3 because I knew there were some I still left out there. So for me, it's always about getting better. It's never about resting on what I've done. It's never about being satisfied with anything. And, there's, my family and stuff, they get, pissed at me sometimes because they're like, you play good. Be happy about it. And I just can't. That's just not the way I'm wired. Like, maybe when I'm done playing, I can sit back and, smell the roses, so to speak. But, for now, I got to keep going. There's more plays to make, and I got to make them.
Is there something about that matchup specifically that enables you to have that many defense? What about that matchup was so good for you?
They didn't slide to me. I don't know why. That is the first question I asked Zach when I met him. Before I said hey, how you doing? Anything else, it was like, and again, excuse my French, I speak freely, guys. You're gonna get used to it. I said, why the fuck didn't you slide to me? And we just kind of laughed about it, and he was like, you know what, man? We probably should have. I'm like, well, I'm glad you didn't. I even asked Ted, like, I think it was like midway through the game. I was like, y'all, this is the game plan. Cool. Not gonna ask again. I'm not gonna make y'all overthink it. That's what y'all want to do. Let's do it. Me and Cap have had some battles for years. He was in Tampa when I was in New Orleans, so just there's some familiarity there. So, but yeah, no, listen, I was very pleased with Coach Zach Taylor's decision to leave me one-on-one all day. It made for a great Sunday. Made for a great Sunday in Cincinnati, for sure.
You also had some other games too against.
Absolutely. Last year, even the year before, when I was with the Jets, I think I had like 8 tackles and a sack again. Yeah, so listen, I think even the year before, I had the game-winning sack again. Listen, I'm kind of a football junkie. My memory's got a pretty good memory. Even 2018, I had a sack against Clint Bowling. Listen, there's, Andy Dalton was at quarterback. Listen, Houday has been kind to me. Whether they've meant to be or not, they've been really kind to me. So I appreciate it. And now they're kind to me now, so I appreciate it. For sure.
This isn't the first offseason they've pursued you. There were previous years where you thought you might end up here at any point?
Yeah, when I went to the Jets, I thought it might have been here. Obviously we just couldn't get it to work out. But yeah, no, this isn't the first time they picked up the phone and requested my services, and this time it was able to work out. So their persistence paid off. It's like the girl, like, hey, I'm gonna just be your friend for now, and then maybe one day she'll like look at me like, you know what, he's kind of cute, and they were persistent, and you know what, let's give this a shot, and here we are.
I think there was maybe a thought that you would be back in Houston. Were you surprised at how aggressive the Bengals ended up being, continuing to come after you this year?
Yeah, honestly, I think, as a true fan of the game, I thought, truthfully, I honestly just thought DJ would be back. I'm just speaking honestly. I thought DJ would be back. He's been a hell of a player here. So, in my mind, as a person who again watches D-line play, I'm like, oh, they don't need me. Like it just made sense. So, once they, made their approach, and it pretty much went there. It went really fast. Once they reached out and were adamant about what they saw me as in this defense and what I could bring, and it all made sense. And I'm glad to be here, and I'm hoping with the way I work and the way I go about my business, I can be everything they envision me being here.
On that note, what can you be here? How much of DJ's role can you assume? People think of you probably, like you said, more of a pass
Right.
BJ's role, do you feel like you could assume if you needed to?
Right. Listen, I think I can do everything at a high level. Um, if you go back, to my last year with the Jets, coming off of that year, people question, could I rush the passer anymore? Everybody's like, oh, he's a run guy now. Like, that's what he is. He's a run guy. Like, you go back and, with, the Jets, my last year there, when I was on the field, we gave up 3.8 yards a carry. And, going to Houston, we became the, number 6 run defense in the league or something like that, with me playing a lot of snaps, of run defense. So, I think I do it all at a high level. I think you don't get this far in the league, or you don't, get the opportunities I've had to be a guy. And again, like, the Jets didn't have to play me on first, second down. They could have went out and got a big body and, did all that. But, I feel like it's, I play football really well. I don't just rush the passer really well. Like, you want to line up in 21 personnel, run power, cool, it's fine, let's do it. If you want to spread it out and throw the ball over the park, just don't leave me by myself all day. It's going to get ugly. So, like, I feel like I do it all really well at a high level. So, I look forward to continuing that trend, and continue to do that the rest of my career.
Was there something specifically about negotiations this time? I mean, I know the money's a little bit different. Was there?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. A little bit different.
Was that the thing? I mean, did they come up and guarantee it? I mean, what about the negotiation made this time more enticing for you to come up?
I'm gonna just say it made sense this time. Let's just leave it at that. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, to just speak honestly, like most people assumed I wouldn't leave Houston. That everybody assumed, with the year I had and everything, Houston had coming back. Everybody assumed I would be back there, and for whatever reasons, it didn't work out. So, once I started, looking elsewhere and having those conversations, nothing made more sense than here. Whether it's money, whether it's fit, whether it's everything culminating into placing myself in a good situation on a good football team with the right people leading it. It all made sense. This was the perfect spot for me right now in my career, and that's why I'm here.
Interior pass rush is hard to find and very valuable. What do you think the correlation is between the teams that have it and winning?
I just think the way this league is now, there's not a lot of quarterbacks who stand 12 yards deep in the pocket. Most guys, are dropping back to 9, stepping up to 7 or 6. So if you have guys who can, disrupt the middle, if you ask a lot of quarterbacks, they don't like their feet getting stepped on. They don't like, when they follow through, guys' helmets being in the way. So if you got a guy who can, and again, guys, I speak freely, so just if you got a guy who can just be a dick of a person, to the annoyance of a quarterback, in the middle all game long. It doesn't even have to be hits. It's just, again, if he's constantly having to, take one hand off the ball to push a O lineman, away this way to get his feet out of the way. I mean, that's just throws off timing, throws off rhythm. And he's human. At some point, it gets annoying. You start thinking about it. It's just, all that little stuff adds up over the course of 4 quarters, and being able to, wreak havoc. So, if you got a guy who can do that, and I like to feel I can do that, then yeah, like I think it matters in the sense of, especially if you got good edge rushers, which we have here. It allows everybody else to kind of eat. It unlocks the key, so to speak. When you got that pressure up the middle and that constant force pushing the pocket and being disruptive, it allows everybody else to eat. It allows guys to play coverage on the back end. Allows guys to be able to jump things on the back end. Now you're playing faster because quarterbacks got to get the ball out faster. So now you're playing on that. Now you can play with more vision and different things like that. It all works hand in hand. So, just being able to be that guy that can cause that disruption, cause that force in the middle. I take pride in being that kind of guy.
As a football junkie, what is it that stood out
Yeah, so the first connection I have to it is Trey. Right? I think I watched Trey work his ass off in New Orleans. To get everything he deserves, and to watch him come here and just continue to truly blossom. And then again watching other guys play well in this system. I mean, it just looks like guys play free. And they play for each other. Everybody's on the same page. They play with that passion. You play with that, fiery intensity. And when you watch it, there's this adage in the coaching world or just football world in general where, how loud can the silent tape be? Right, where you're watching the all 22 and there's no sound, there's no commentators, nothing but can your presence on that tape be loud? And when you watch this defense and when you watch those guys fly around, you watch how they play football, it's loud, So being able to insert myself into that and understanding what I feel like I bring, I felt like it was a match made in heaven.